So what do you reckon about the brand of, this brand Nike it's a familiar story now we're seeing with a lot of the stuff we read about in terms of companies and things like that is kind of follows this track of it's this, there are these this group of misfits get together that believe so strongly in something. They're not really doing it for the money. The money's important, but it's really about the love of whatever they're doing, whether it be rock climbing or in this case, running and shoes. And then the popularity of that thing grows, and because of the unique culture of the business and how dedicated people are because they love the actual thing, and this is the core, the core place of the subculture and the most innovative place of that culture too. So like both Nike and just use Patagonia and Nike here, but you could say Arnold was another version of this, is that they're at the forefront of the innovation of that particular thing. They don't stop when they've made a good shoe just to maximize the sales of it. They make the next one, and throw the old one out, and they just keep going. And then all of a sudden there's something happens where it jumps, and it jumps beyond the initial group that they were talking about. And it also jumps beyond the initial product. And all of a sudden you're not just selling shoes, you're selling clothes.
Yeah. It's like this building of it's like this engine that's like slowly warming up. And, it's just kind of tinkering, trying to get the right, fuel to oxygen ratio kind of going on. But at the same time, everything's, it's almost like the engine's growing as well, and eventually it gets to this threshold that, it goes from being unable to actually turn the wheels, and then all of a sudden it can just blast forward. That's a terrible analogy, but I'm trying to just paint that picture, because that's totally what happens. Even think about, mate, what happened the story with Apple, back in the 90s, and they had basically been driven down that very much that, let's milk this product as much as we can rather than focus on the innovating and getting to the next thing, which was very much, Jobs' thing, the kind of visionary perspective that he had. And it sounds like this is very much the case that we see across this book with Knight and, as you said, Patagonia, as you said, Arnie even. They just now, what we had done was never good enough, because they were never able to achieve this like vision. And so it just kept meaning that they kept adding more fuel to the fire. I should have used a bloody fire as the analogy. A fire is a way better analogy, because all of a sudden with like a fire, right, you go from this humble little, campfire, and then you get a spark of wind. It starts to, maybe turn into a little grass fire or something. And then all of a sudden you've got this massive bushfire like we had last year back in Oz. And these fires have a weather system in them, because they're just so much energy and heat and everything going on in them. It's almost like that's a far better way to describe it, I think.
Yeah, no,
they almost create their own weather system,
Yeah, it's they've just got so much momentum behind them.